Homestead. Homestead was the block with the crack reputation. It might have been overblown, but there was drug infrastructure in one particular house. Addicts didn't have to search far and wide to further their addiction. 2 blocks up, a brother would service you. Drugs are an unstable commodity. It was illegal then and it's illegal now. The closest aroma to Wild Wild West is up the street. They ran the spot with a business intention. It would go smooth and then somebody always gotta try them. Fiends coming up short on purpose, stick up kids sensing a quiet operation, police snooping around. They would be understanding to regulars. You short a few dollars, alright. This isn't the 80s anymore. It's bad enough you're not going to no meetings and acknowledging your addiction, but you trying to still bring the cold gorilla out of this janky shice practice. Come on, dude. The fiends would get a reprieve, but the dealers were advised to take a short if they too regular. Just make the sale quiet better that way. Killer, I'm short a couple dollars. You can't do this. Alright, hurry up. Stop this shit. The brothers that actually did still slang the harder drugs were upset with themselves by a decade in. You go through being cold, kicking addicted mothers in their back, and beating addicts for coming up short, and you're not a villain because people trying to get over on you. Fiends are just worse with that. But they won't better their life, and you not keeping your hands off the work and have a new set of runners pumping for you. You just still running it like the 80s and no one's making a change. And also to see if you butt when you should move colder. So the brothers in front of the crib all day were clearly lax and soft in their feelings. Their suppliers didn't know they had a lot to learn. Competition was watching their reckless management. Every time they got rid of the work, they quietly congratulate themselves and go back to the connect to re. Some brothers from off the set watched this drop like 5 times. The brothers in front of the Homestead house had attracted calculated stick-up kids who were getting into position. At the door of the connect before the phone call or doorbell buzz, 2 stick-up kids ran up, gun to his back. Don't make any sudden movement, my G. The stick-up kid with the gun to the rear back pulled out an envelope of clean dirty money. They ran off into the night. What could he do? He can't call the fucking police. Finding them on some street shit will take time. The connect came to the door blankly, totally certain by the look at the rear face he got robbed. Calm down, my youth. This shit happens from time to time. Find them, make example, whatever you can do. Don't be afraid to let off. Bring one of your lookouts next time you want to buy more coke or something. Y'all been in this for a little while. The connect gave them their usual request. Come back after and pay the money for it. There was enough confidence in the actual operation and time that everybody actually turned a blind eye to the loss of a whole re-up. The re-left marveling. They got us running, but the old heads must be fucking exhausted with it all. Brookledge or Siva Apartments. Dump. Someone grabs the money back. They were on point though. The connect already knew it was some guys from Brookledge or Siva. Their game was rob dudes from time to time. Without bloodshed, they miraculously stole their rear back. That's unbelievable. They knew the thieves. They hurriedly working on moving the next batch. No one smoked coke anymore, man. It was a drug that had been vilified so crazy for going on 40 damn years. Dialogue. Who are these stubborn crack smokers that refused NA and intervention, but couldn't party anywhere with their poison of choice? They fucking Locura, buddy. They stuck, Paul. That shit seeps in your system and is reinforced as a habit due to time. True. Some of the guys' moms smoked coke in the early 80s. Now their sons and daughters did the same shit. Crack generational. Yeah, buddy. They stayed around each other and got along for the most part. They stayed around each other and hustled for their uncles. They realized one side of the game, their uncles, was besides themselves, was still peddling a poison that the self-righteous constantly reminded was destroying their own people, but they felt an inner reprieve at least doing some type of business, bad or good, and being able to put a little money in some of the son's pockets. The ones who could handle the mess that became of their old sets. The ones selling now felt the exhaustion, but it wasn't a totally ruthless cold sale, but it wasn't warmer than they could pretend. Everyone agreed the lookout the crackheads wore stuck. All the outreach in the city couldn't stop them from falling off the wagon, and plus dialogue. The way these NA groups and shit try to act like with real fiends from the real 80s and shit got them like, fuck that. The motherfuckers signed on to help them guys turned it into a fucking racket that tried to put them guys in some kind of child's place. Fiends are fucking ruthless, my man. Word. The pandering they came across was too much bullshit for a population with that much pain and shit. They were passing loud around sincerely pondering crack after the crack epidemic. Truth is, we just serve to whoever is left, I guess. Everybody only halfway agreed. It was kind of quiet in the afternoons. They would discuss shit then. The lookouts that hustled with the boy who got robbed of the Ree were mostly fond of him, but that was a fuck up they knew would be the end for any one of them. The one in charge of the Ree, Muhammad, was favored due to his family relationship within the framework of the business. One of the lookouts, who would basically start the drama, explained out of the earshot of Muhammad. Dialogue. That kid is slow, dude. What? Oh, the robbery? The lookout slandering Muhammad was named Ali. Dude, if that had been anyone but Muhammad, we would have been cut off. He's lucky, but he's dumb, making us look bad. Issa, the other lookout. Dude, this business is shice land. It's snake adventure playland. Issa would try to explain things colorfully. That could have been any one of us with the burner to the side of the dome. We fucking with fiends, work, and money. It could go fucked up. We just gotta be sharp and observant. Fuck you, Issa. Somebody else need to do the damn drops. Get a grip, Ali. Things go wrong. The Connect forgave us. Move on with your life, boo. Issa was getting aggravated and insulted him weird. Muhammad was still going to be making the drop-offs for there. It was quiet, business as usual. The brothers were in the spot serving the regular customers and handling their business. All was well between them, as it truly did seem to Connect kind of put a blind eye on the re-up debacle. It can't happen again, but there will be ups and downs with this. You have handled yourselves with the utmost integrity since you've come on. He didn't want to be down in any street environment, still pushing packs and risking his freedoms or anything. They really hadn't created any real problems, and as sad as it could be misconstrued, all three of them were somewhat raised for the actual business, however illegal it might have been. So basically, the Stringer Bell figure was not antagonizing his coming up in the ranks people for one fuck up that they in turn retrieved due to their knowledge of the business. The days passed, it was calm. The three of them were kind of young. They were bad due to their circumstances of life, of business life, not for nothing else. So people claim to feel bad for them and pity. They dressed low key, I guess, and really didn't exhibit the flash that their peers had, but they were making bread like that. All three would play their positions and bank due to the tearful pleading of their elders. Y'all are born into some shit. I gotta say this to you. One of the Connect's people would always loudly try to explain. We got y'all, but you gotta put your work in. Listen, y'all gotta stick together. They supposed he was right, so they just did. They argued, but worked out a solution or agreement. Their spot was relaxed when everybody was high. All three were practicing Muslims. They would pray together and work on dirt bikes and 4Runner engines. They filled their days with the business of fixing and maintaining bikes and ATV engines and stuff and left them in the living room. They would make sales here and there and manage to get off the packs at night. The young girls were into them for the fact that they just kind of minded their business, but if a chick couldn't see through gear and shit, they would never fuck with them. Some of them knew their uncles and shit. Muhammad was always on some pick of the litter type of thing due to the culture. Issa was like the mediator and Ali was like lawful outrage. Sometimes they back him because he made sense, but sometimes they just get him to calm down, like with the re-up issue. The three amigos were holding it down. One night the traffic was slow for the usual night shift routine. Ali was flipping on Issa about a New York guy trying to holler at one of his girls. Issa, you need to cut that shit before it escalate. Fuck is you talking about, Ali? I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that chick. We just friends. She could fuck with whoever she please. Ali wasn't having it. I'm telling you, Issa, you slipping. I don't like how son is. He think he cool and shit. But then he does the slimy shit, trying to get at your chick behind your back. One of the guys they sold some of their uncle's weight to was from Long Island. He was a skinny hippie type white guy. He was different than the usual old heads who would cop. He just wanted powder. They didn't know if he snorted the whole bag or sold it to people in the New Hampshire mountains, but he would cop faithfully. Issa dealt with him the most. He would hang around, smoke, and chop it up with Issa while Muhammad paid them no mind. Ali couldn't stand him coming around at all. Any reason he could, he'd bring up to get Issa to cut that weirdo off and stop serving him. But Issa got a kick out of him. He was different and kind of a wonder to him. Issa would bother his little girlfriends on speaker and they would entertain themselves chatting with his little female homies. The guy fell in love with his friend Charity. He come by and talk to her on the phone like puppy love. Issa would say his little bullshit to Ali. Ali would be tight for some reason. Get this motherfucker out of the spot, dude. Issa half high just come with some reason son gotta take it easy en route. The white guy would dip and Ali would let Issa have it. Yo, stop fucking with this dude. Stop serving him. Stop him from chatting with Charity. Like, fuck this guy coming around. He's a fucking agent. You just jeopardizing our whole shit. I'ma tell Unc if you think I'm playing. Issa obliged him to calm down, thinking Ali always trying to fuck up the vibe. Ali just was overactive in his imagination of what could go wrong, and he hated new motherfuckers. Muhammad stayed out of it. Ali felt like he was the security force and Issa and Muhammad were conducting business like knuckleheads. He had seen operations like theirs go up in smoke before, but he was still in another trap taking another risk. That's how Ali would overanalyze and mistrust. He knew the game from his dad, Issa and Muhammad's uncle, who was the one upstate. Muhammad and Issa were knowing the business though, so people felt Ali was being overboard. People like the white guy who was named Milano upset him. He wasn't a regular that was already a part of it. He had understanding of that, but word of mouth, people turned his stomach. Ali thinking, we all going upstate because of fucking Issa. Issa seemed naive. It was just where Issa would interact with people outside of the realm. Coke had a wider reach than Ali could really fathom. Issa wasn't intimidated by that, but Issa understood Ali's wariness. Ali and Issa burned a coffee blunt wrap and cooled out on a conversation. Milano's desire for Charity made Issa be a little more into her. Ali's flipping out over things was only adding fuel to the fire. The weed cooled Ali out, though he sat back and studied the moment for things to be pissed off about and just zonked out by one of the four wheels they had been refurbishing. Issa's thoughts turned to his cousin Ali. That brother needs a girl. He too amped all the time. The guys were exhausted. They broke day serving. Milano came by and bounced with some powder off to Vermont or New Hampshire. They joked he goes out there to sing campfire songs with a ukulele, coked out. He's with 5 hippie girls who never bathe or eat anything that breathes. They laugh while the door knocked constantly. Regulars who were bodying their checks on cook-up came to the door for the dimes and dubs. Ali was in better spirits than the other day. They were at that point where you're awake so long you feel drunk. Believe it or not, he's happy. They must have served one custody too many because somebody slipped up. It was the afternoon of the next day when there was a knock on the door. Issa, figuring on one last sale, opened the latch and police bust in the apartment. They were prepared for this. The work wasn't out. Issa had some sort of lookout strategy, but they were all in the house at that time. The stash was passed off to a neighbor, and the Issa was getting his rights read to him. Ali and Muhammad bailed out the back porch and cut air. They would check up on Issa later, but they would get out of that situation. Issa was put into jail for a night, but they didn't have anything concrete on him. Issa got out the next day. They got a search warrant, but it was based on hearsay, a busybody, or the competition. It didn't matter. Issa was not charged with anything. The crib was clean of anything condemnable. The three met back up at their uncle's crib to discuss the events of the last night. Issa walked in the door, and his uncle playfully punched him on the arm and shook his shoulder with one hand. Muhammad walked up to him and smiled. Ali just started going off. That's Issa? Yo, I blame that rock climbing powderhead. Issa just happy to be home. I told you, yo. They told him to calm down. Nah, man. It was that guy here, agent. I told you so. Ali apparently had too much faith in every other customer who rolled up. Could have been any one out of 40 people, straight up. Y'all are funny. Just chill. Don't sell any drugs for a while. Just work on your ATVs or whatever y'all do. The three of them would end up serving again, but they put all their efforts into their ATV dirt bike business.